Have you guys heard that new Taylor Swift album? Yeah, me too. I'd say she really put the mid in Midnights. Alright. Before you guys kill me, let's start the video. In today's video, we're going to take a bit of a turn away from political analysis of a piece of media and focus on what I listened to this year. I obviously can't cover literally everything that was released this year because I am only one man with very particular tastes. If you want that kind of coverage, go watch Fantano or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy. Damn.
This video will be in sections of new discoveries, concerts, and finally, my favorite releases of 2022. I'll leave timestamps for each part so you can decide to watch the one that interests you most. First, we have my personal new discoveries of the year. These are all bands and artists that came on my radar this year, and I like them enough to mention them here. For the punk fans, we have Melted, a Los Angeles-based group that channels the spirit of the Orange County punk scene and spawned classics like Bad Religion and D.I. Next up is an incredibly beautiful shoegazy and ambient band, Soft Blue Shimmer. Their sound can go from incredibly gentle to noisy in a split second. One of my new favorites this year is the singer-songwriter project Absinthe Father. Her music occupies the same spot in my brain that I have reserved for Phoebe Bridgers, who happens to be one of my all-time favorites. Next is the self-described country gaze and alternative country band, Grave Cells from Hammond, California. All these artists I just mentioned happen to be further elaborated on later, so don't worry. This next artist, Twinkle Park, can only be described as a combination of math rock, Midwest emo, and Vocaloid. This is a project from the ever-talented Hazel, who has an amazing YouTube channel and also talks about anime like me. The Peggies are a Japanese band composed of all women who have some of their songs included for openings of very popular anime shows like Bunny Girl Senpai, Rent-a-Girlfriend, Boruto, and My Hero Academia. These next two artists will be grouped together because they fill a similar niche for me. They are the extremely prolific city pop artists Maria Takeuchi and Miki Matsubara. Their songs have reached across decades to bless my ears with nostalgia for a place and time I never experienced. If any of you are familiar with Joey the Anime Man, you need to listen to his music project Ikuru. He has albums of beautiful piano pieces and lo-fi hip-hop in both English and Japanese. These last two bands are very personal find for me. They're both led by a dear friend of mine, Jesse Barnett. The bands are hardcore punk band Stick to Your Guns and melodic post-hardcore group Ways Away. I first met Jesse earlier this year from the mutual aid bookstore All Power Books. He runs with his wonderful partner Savannah. They do amazing work for the West Adams neighborhood of LA and deserve all the support in the world. I will include a donation link in the description where all funds will go towards keeping it open and the programs they run. Now we have arrived at the concert section of the video. For the sake of keeping it short, I will put any relevant photos and information regarding the concert so I won't be rambling for another 10 minutes. Finally now, the last section of the video, the best releases of 2022. Starting off with EPs is Unravel by Hollow Bastion. Hollow Bastion is a project from the incredibly goofy and fun Twooba on YouTube. On this EP, she creates a beautiful and melancholic vibe that envelops you throughout its brief runtime. Something interesting that you probably wouldn't notice is that the whole thing was recorded and mixed on an iPhone. Next up is the 3-song 2022 tour tape by Grave Saddles. This tape includes 2 new songs and a cover of Minnesota by the Mountain Goats. If you already love the band like I do or want a cool Mountain Goats cover, I heavily recommend this. The last EP to be covered is the Simple Plan EP by August Is Falling. They're one of the most incredible underground emo bands from the mid-2000s, and they decided to finally release the only EP they recorded. August Is Falling even got legendary Weezer and Panic! At the Disco producer Butch Walker to spruce up one of the mixes for modern enjoyment. First up, with my favorite albums of 2022, is sophomore album from Wallows, Tell Me That It's Over. With Wallows being one of my favorite bands, I was intensely awaiting a follow-up to their debut album, Nothing Happens, and holy shit, they went way past my expectations for this album. It is an instant classic full of fun, dancey cuts and nostalgia-tinged tracks that pull at the heartstrings. Just like with the last album, Emotional Creature by Beach Bunny is nowhere near sophomore slump. The indie rock group led by frontwoman Lily Trafilio brings the heat with tracks about heartbreak, toxic relationships, and what it is like to be in love. She perfectly encapsulates the complex feelings we all have at different points in life. Next up is the 7th record from hardcore outfit Stick to Your Guns. Their album Spectre is full of wisdom and urgency about our world that moves further and further to the right. It provides an answer of what is to be done about the rise of fascism and capitalism that facilitates it. Everything the frontman Jesse Barnett preaches here is practiced militantly in his personal life. On a lighter note, the 1975's 5th album, Being Funny in a Foreign Language, is incredibly nostalgic and reflective. The band further refines their 80s-inspired sound to the best it's been in their whole career. Their choice to keep the tracklist brief has made me come back to it at least 2 or 3 times a week. Now back from our brief pivot away from the genius of Jesse Barnett, let's discuss the second album from his melodic post-hardcore band, Ways Away. Their album Torch Songs focuses on more broad topics of how our world and society will try to keep us down for being satisfied with who we are and what we have. A standout track on this album is Pink Kerosene, because it samples a rant from a citizen directed at the LA City Council about fascist LAPD chief Michael Moore. Moments like this are where the message behind the music becomes even clearer than before. A newer discovery that made it into my list is Moving Forward by Absent Father. It's an immensely beautiful and touching album that touches on childhood, family, and growing older. I particularly enjoy listening to this album when I travel to and from San Diego when I visit my family. Next is another sophomore record, Love Lives in the Body by Soft Blue Shimmer. On this new album, they bring even more shoegaze goodness that can only be described as like being in a dream. Some of you may be shocked that until recently, I had never listened to a single album from Kendrick Lamar. That was until Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was released. There's so much to dive into with such a huge album, so I'll refrain from trying to express my thoughts any further. But if you know, you know. Up next is Further Joy by The Regrets. I was incredibly surprised with the more poppy direction on this album, but that doesn't mean it's bad by any means. I really enjoyed the band branching out to new sounds, combining with their signature top-notch writing. The last album I have here for discussion is the debut album from alternative R&B band Ludic. Grown is an incredibly fun listen and full of incredible guitar moments from vocalist and guitarist Ayla Testamave. Her playing is something I can only dream of reaching with my own playing. To round out the list, here's some honorable mentions. Superflower Blood Moon by Joel Drum. Pocket Full of Crumbs by Pocket Full of Crumbs. Magic Hour by Surf Curse. And Connections and Feelings 2014 to 2022 by Twinkle Park. All in all, I feel really happy about my year in music. There were some incredible releases from bands and artists that I've loved and ones that I didn't know existed until now. I'm even incredibly proud of the music I put out in the world this year. Wait, you didn't know I make music? Well, now you do. I make music under my name, Noah Polly, and have my debut EP, Revolutionary Love, out on all platforms. I even recently put out my first Christmas song. Enough shameless plugs. I'll get this longer video over with and get started on the first video for next year. Have a great holiday season and a happy start to 2023. This has been Noah from Call Me Space Cowboy. See you next time.